Hello, amazing ladies in business. Welcome to the HerStory podcast. I'm your host, Kylie King, the founder of Australian Ladies in Business Initiative. And I am so excited today to be joined by the incredible Leone Wilson. She's a business owner running Harvesting Health and also has her own podcast, The Natural Narrative. And I'm so glad that she's joining us today from the not so sunny Gold Coast. Welcome, Leone.
Thank you for asking me to join you. I feel privileged. It's a great opportunity to have a chat.
Well, I want to know more about you and your journey and your business. So I guess, do you want to start off by telling us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing?
Okay, so I am 63 years young at the moment, and I developed my business Harvesting Health. Initially, I did a naturopathic degree. Then later on, I did a nutrition degree. I found within my clientele, most people who have a chronic health condition also tend to have an emotional or mental health concern. And so then I did a Masters of Counselling, and as I was just telling Kylie a minute ago, this is study day for my psychology degree. So I like to think of Harvesting Health as an ecosystem of care. We provide the naturopathy, the nutrition, the counseling, the psychology, so that we're not just looking after one person's physical, biological problems, but we're looking at the interface between that and emotional and mental health. And look, usually it's our childhood and all the stresses that bring us to our point today that have shaped that. So it's an ecosystem of care. It is just me. I do have subcontractors with the clinic. I have hypnotherapy, acupuncture, and then, as I say, counseling and naturopaths.
Wow. So what got you started in this? Where were you like, I want to go in? Because you started with the degree in naturopathy, was that correct? And then
Yeah, yeah.
what got you interested in there? What sparked you?
Look, I wanted to do a degree in naturopathy. I was a single parent at the time, and I came into a very, very small back then, a little bit of money, and I was like, oh, I'll do the naturopathic degree. I think I was 32. And then I looked at these two young people. I'm like, possibly I should wait. You don't want to do anything half-baked, and parenting wasn't an option to be half-baked, and neither was study. So it came about really I suppose it came about through my own experience. As a young person, I wasn't particularly cared for. My mother didn't want me. My grandmother wanted a second child, so she took me on. And so I grew up with my grandparents. My grandfather was the solid space, the dependable space. So he passed away, and I got anorexia nervosa. And it was more as a trauma response and a way to control what was happening that was uncontrollable in my life. So from that point, I went through 3 different hospitalizations, of which one was Chelmsford. And Chelmsford was the product of a royal commission because of their deep sleep treatment and their barbaric treatment. And a lot of people actually passed away. So I suppose I came out of that with I did come out of that with a level of PTSD. And then as time went on, I was also diagnosed with an autoimmune thyroid condition. So you can see the physical and then the emotional there. And, as much as I looked around the traditional medical system or the current allopathic medical system, I wasn't feeling supported in a way that was helping me. So life got away from me. I brought up my children. And then I met my partner, who's actually just passed away last year. And I think it was from the fact that we had 2 incomes coming in, I could allow myself to study. And that's when I decided naturopathy was what I wanted to study, because traditional medicine, or allopathic medicine as they call it, wasn't really serving me. There had to be a different way, and I regarded it as a better way.
I do like the way you've put that as well, that allopathic side just was not supporting you. That just that language there is beautiful, because it's not saying that's not the right way to do it. It just didn't support you during that journey.
No, and everyone has their own journey. Everyone has
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And it was a bit of a It was an intricate journey. It was a different journey. You can't deal with this sort of journey the same way as you would with Fred down the road with a broken toe, you know?
Yes. Yes, there is no cookie cutter approach. Everyone's going through something uniquely, so it needs to look at a different way. I just loved the language around that. I thought it was because it wasn't anything, it just didn't support me. And I think that's what as the people need to realize sometimes if it doesn't feel like it's right and it's not supporting you, then there are other avenues out there to go out and have a look at so that you can feel supported.
100%. So the clientele in the clinic, they'll often come to me and go, my doctor doesn't get me, or my doctor's not asking. My doctor's looked at all my tests and they're all normal and I'm not feeling normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So after you finished the degrees that you did, what, I guess, brought you to start your own clinic and your own business because you could have just been employed by someone?
Yeah, look, I don't know what did actually. So that's an interesting concept. How many days do you ask yourself that? Hey, and I was like, oh, look at me. I own, like in the early days, look at me. I own my own business. And like business has grown and it's a good business. It's a well-known business on the Gold Coast. We've won awards. So what brought me to do that? Possibly because I didn't always agree with how other people might have run their business. Because to put it into context, I also lecture and supervise and mentor students. And so the amount of students that I've taught doesn't mean I necessarily go to them for advice. So there is a cookie cutter way of teaching. And I was like, oh, I'm not thinking this fits. And so that's probably why the various degrees, because I had to create my own niche and I had to be a unicorn, really, to provide all those different aspects of care, because not one single one on its own was serving the purpose.
Beautiful. So when did you start Harvesting Health? Has it been around for a while? Was it the first business you went into?
I used to be a massage therapist, Leone Wilson Massage Therapy, and that was really how I supported myself through uni. I had David at the time, but probably he was looking after the more day-to-day basics of bills, and I was actually bringing in the money for the food, whatever, how we worked it together. One on our own, we weren't going to get there. So I did the massage therapy in my garage, renovated, and then Harvesting Health began from the newly renovated garage in 2017. And just as an aside, whilst David was ill with glioblastoma last year, I actually had to defend my trademark for my business against a competitor. And so my guy has been trademarked since last year, but it was quite the fight because somebody else had the same name. So we started in 2017 in the renovated garage. David retired and I'm like, got to find my own premises here. You just need that nice space to maintain a relationship. And then we grew into a multi-modality clinic, probably with 4 rooms. And then shortly in a year, I'm moving into a Southport central business area because I'm launching a new program.
Beautiful. That's exciting.
It is. Hey.
Launch a new program and to move into a new space is exciting.
Yeah, no, I am excited. And we were always going to move. But now that David has died, it just gives, your business always gives you an anchor. If you're passionate about business, it gives you an anchor. So it's anchored me. And then because I am passionate, it propelled me to the next step. And that's fine. One door shuts, another one opens. That is what life is about. So, because of the nutrition, the counseling, and the psychology degree now, I've now trademarked an eating disorder program, which I wish to roll out when I get to Southport.
And that links in with your that experience you had when you were younger, which is just all comes, I guess, back to circle. So you've brought up a couple of good points. First one I want to mention is the trademark issue. I just had a very similar thing with my own trademark where someone came against the trademark and I had to defend it. How did you find the process? You just noticed someone else or someone brought it to your awareness and then you just let them know, or
No, it,
can it be discussed, Leone?
it was a little bit upsetting. So I was in the palliative care ward at the time with David. So David had glioblastoma. Seriously, from day one of diagnosis to death, it was 4.5 months. It was fast. And so probably 2.5 months in. Oh God, not even. 3 months in, 3.5 months in, I'm sitting in palliative care, and I get a text, and she basically like, I just want to let you know I've got the same business name as you, and I actually would own your website. I'd like you to close it down or sign it over to me. And it was like a few demands, and so I sort of responded and I said, listen, I'm in palliative care with my partner right now. I don't have the capacity to respond to this right at this moment. And so she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. And then she kept responding. And I'm like, I'm just going to leave this. And then at the time I was like, you told me not to swear. I was like, oh, bloody hell. You can have it. I didn't think bloody hell, by the way. I was like, you can just have it then. Whatever you want. I got this happening. And it was a Friday, and David was kept in that night. And I came home and I'm like, another one of those words I'm not going to say. And I'm like, no, bugger this. I'm going to fight for this. I've won awards. I'm going to fight for this because at some point I'm going to need this business. And so how hard was it? Oh my God. I had to find all the documentation that said I prescribed herbal medicines on my letterhead with receipts dating back, because she had a Harvesting Health trademark for teas dating back before she had her, so dating back to 2017. So I've got 3 filing cabinets behind me, and I just pulled them all out, and I was going through them because I had to do it then because David was coming home the next day. Found all the stuff, but long story short, had to fight it. It cost me $8,000.
And you have the trademark now?
I do. I have it in 2 classes, and they're the ones. Look, I don't do herbal teas, by the way, and that's in nutrition, counseling, naturopathy, and then all the medicaments around that. So yeah, I've got it now, and I've got, well, it's 10 years, isn't it? So
I believe so. And then you've also got your website too, because she was taking your website, but you've kept that. That's
I've
yours.
kept that because now my trademark is Harvesting Health, and so that's it. Sorry. And so I believe I then said, look, she kept telling me, have you thought about it? Have you thought about it? And I got back to her in a couple of days, and I'm like, I'm really busy with something right now. My partner's dying. You need to talk to my solicitor. This is her details. And then the lawyer, I never thought I was going to need an IP lawyer. She just took care of it. It was
What a stressful time to go through. That was like to have that all happening at that time. What a mess. But also now to come out with it and go, okay, well, you've got your business. As you mentioned, that anchor, you've got the business, it's trademarked, it's protected now.
Yep.
So
I
you
feel
can then,
solid. It feels solid. It's the foundation. My business gave me life, in as much as, I was in a situation where, even though David and I were close, there was always ups and downs. There always is. And my business anchored me then, and I suppose it anchors me now. And like, I'm going for the awards big time this year because I'm going to buckle under and really work into the new place with a whole new program. So, it just gives me an anchor, a purpose. It gives me a vision. I'm 63. I said that. I'm not stopping until I'm at least 83. Like, that's not what I'm about. I might change it up, but I'm not stopping.
beautiful, beautiful. So when do you know when you're moving into your new place? Like,
Am I the most organized person in the whole world? Yeah, that's me. And so I suppose I've spent, since David died, a lot of time organizing things, and I'm actually sitting here now going, whew, it's all done. I move into the new premises in August of next year, so they're currently rented until beginning of August, 6th of August. I'm moving into those premises, and I'm actually relocating my own home to, there's 3 towers the business will be in one, and the apartment is in the second.
Oh, so you're nice and close to
There'll
everything.
be security, there'll be a different lifestyle for me, and then I just walk like a building and be in my office. Very different. It's another full circle. You know how you talked about full circle with anorexia and eating disorders? When I first came to the coast, I lived in the suburb next to where I'm moving, and I was like, oh, I just want to live in Southport one day.
Hmm.
And so it's another full circle episode. I mean, David and I were both going there. In the time that he was sick and things were put on hold, the prices up here went up exponentially. And really, what I would have paid for a two-bedder, I'm paying for a one-bedder and a study. Me and the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're taking the cat with you. That's
My
nice.
cat. It's on the 38th floor. I'm like, first I've got to renovate the balcony so it's cat proof. And I don't want a
Mhm.
flat cat. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, being in business and having all the qualifications and constantly adapting, what would you say has been your biggest achievement so far?
Pivoting, hey, pivoting.
Mhm.
So many times I've had to do that. So the reason why I did the extra nutrition degree originally was because the government banned health fund rebates on naturopathy, and all my clients were enjoying them. So I did my nutrition degree so my clients could still enjoy them, but under nutrition. Then when I realized there was this whole emotional context to people's health, I did a diploma of counseling. It was rubbish, and then I did a master's. So I pivoted there, and then I'm now pivoting to psychology because what I want is to be able. I want people to have access to what I offer. And currently we've got NDIS, private health funds, but by doing the psychology degree, we'll get Medicare across the line. So it
Ah,
was
yes.
all about pivoting so that people could get what they require. And then Brave Bites, which is trademarked, my eating disorder or disordered eating program. Most people would have to see a psych or a counselor and then be outsourced to a nutritionist, but I can do the three. So it is about pivoting so that my clients have better access to the healthcare they need, basically.
Beautiful. So now with this pivoting and the changing and the bringing in the new trademarked program, which is
Mm,
good,
mm.
what is your, wait, do you have a big, hairy, scary goal of where you want to take the business, or you're comfortable with where it is, or?
Oh, I'm comfortable with where it is. It does very well. Look, when David was sick, I was caring for him. Like he couldn't walk. It went from a guy who was hiking in New Zealand to a guy who was bedridden. So I was caring for him, and then my daughter would care for him when I went to work. And then it became a two-person job. Then it became a three-person job. So business did really go down to less than a third what it was, probably a quarter, just to keep things ticking over. So I've built it back up. Um, I just want to do it differently. 63. I working to 83. I choose that. That's what I want. I want to do it differently. I want to perhaps have more group programs, more workshops around it, some one-on-one, but work so that I have that life, like life is fragile. I've just been made so aware of that what I want to do is have that balance, and hence moving where I'm moving, there's the waterfront, there's cafes, there's the tram, so I want some balance. There's no point having all that available if I don't have days to do that. So it's more about creating balance, but I also want to write a book, and so that would be my fun downtime when me and the cat are hanging out.
Yeah. When the cat's safely on the balcony.
Hell yeah, that's getting done first. Don't worry. I've already put in, because I can move everything over there and get it like renovated, fixed up in the July. I've already put in to have the cat, which will be fine. And then there's a huge amount I have to download, but it's just to actually have like basically floor to ceiling, side to side, proper blinds that allow the light through and no cat through, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. And I think you made a really good point there about the fragility of life because, of course, what you've just gone through. But sometimes we spend so much time because we love our business, working in it, being obsessed with it, educating ourselves outside of it. But we tend to forget that there is a life there, that we need to go out and have these opportunities, go out and do things, because that can also, in a way, motivate and help us adapt our business moving forward.
100%. And look, the more rested person performs better. David used to run marathons, and you have to taper before the event. So there is that the more rested person achieves a better goal. And even my son says to me, at the end of all this study, will you be able to work less? So he sees that too. So it's about, they say working smarter, and I just hate cliches, but it is about working differently so that there is a rest period. You know, I mean, I might work half days. I might work from lunchtime into the night some days. You know, cat needs attention over here. But just like I'll have part of every day off, and I can walk in the sun, I can, you know, swim, whatever I want to do. Because, yeah, what's that? What do they say? You don't live to work, you work to live. And I've lived to work. I wrote something the other day, and it was like, by educating myself and beginning my business, I was reclaiming my life. Well, I've done that. I've proven it. I've got awards. I'm proud of it. But there is that scared part of me to let it drop back in at all. And I feel we're all like that.
I'm going to ask too, because you've gone through so much, like you lost your partner just last year after, and as you said, it was very quick. What, you know, and not just that, but everything that, you know, life comes and knocks us around at times. What motivates you to keep getting up in the morning and going, I'm going to keep doing this business and I'm going to keep sharing this knowledge and this passion I have for what I do?
Goodness me. Look, I feel it is really, I see so many people who are feeling like I felt way back. So, you know, I'd come out of Chelmsford, I'd had medical trauma, medical PTSD. I then got a thyroid condition, and I didn't even show this one in. My first child was a cot death. You know, like there was a whole lot of stuff going on. I had PTSD, I had grief after my child dying, and then I got a thyroid disorder. And as I said, you know, like there was nobody that was equipped to support me adequately. You know, there was medication, but so what? I'm medication free. Like, medication is not always the answer. So I feel that it's more about, I think it's growing because I see so many people who have so much going on, and everybody, 98% of people have a profound stress or profound incident that affects them. If I can actually bring that support, and if I could do it even in a group environment, people get more support and I get some time off. So it's more about providing something that I don't think is out there.
That's just what gets you out of bed every morning.
Pretty much. And the cat.
And the cat.
Bloody cat.
And the cat.
It's gotten real cute lately, so yeah, that does it.
So with all your experience and knowledge in the naturopathy and the nutrition and the psychology and the counseling, all of this stuff, and as a business owner with multiple, because you said you have multiple disciplinaries under so you have other practitioners that come into your space. Is there one tip that you would share with the listeners, like a taste tester or something you wish someone had told you that might motivate them, like one takeaway from listening to our episode today?
Yeah, look, there was something, someone asked me to write a book chapter, and at the end of it I wrote, if you're waiting for the right time, you're going to miss the bus. It's about, and I wrote this, you got to put on those big girl pants and give it a shot. Because if you're waiting, you'll keep waiting, and you'll never actually give it a go, realize your potential, or, heaven forbid, succeed.
No, I think that is so important because everyone seems to be waiting for a bus that is not coming. Like everyone seems to be lined up at a bus stop.
Yeah. And look, it's scary. Like, you can imagine, I was 12 when I was in Chelmsford, and it's all the PTSD, and then losing your child now. I don't think I was misconfident over here, not like I sound today. And so you fake it till you make it, I suppose. That's exactly what you do. I remember going through my first degree, and we were, graduated, and last clinic day, and we're walking out the door, and we were all sort of like, how much should we charge, and this, that, and the other thing. And I remember the supervisor at the time, he said to us, you've just got to remember, you're the expert in this. And so, like, I believe I use evidence as a backbone with the degrees. I use my lived experience for the human experience. And then I educate and empower my clients so that they can be the expert. So, like when any woman or person going out into business, if you know your life and you know your experience, you're the expert in it.
100%.
100%.
100%. You're the expert.
That.
It does take a while, but I think that just sums it up, like exactly what you've said. I don't know what you're writing this book about, Leone, but I think that just needs to be the title of
You're
the
the
book.
expert. Well,
That's the
look,
book.
David did say to me, oh, you need to write a book about your experiences, because when he first heard about them, he didn't believe them, then he understood it better, etc., etc. And I'm like, oh, God, there's an undertaking. So then there's been 2 people approach me to write a chapter, and 2 different chapters. And so I'll probably store them up for my book. But I was like, at the end of it, I was like, it was all about pulling on big girl pants, faking it till you make it, but then actually realizing you're the expert in your own life.
Yes, that's exactly it. Well, no one else is doing it. So,
No, 100%. And you'll have doctors maybe who say, all your tests are fine. And you're like, hang on, I don't feel fine. And they go, no, you're right. But you're the expert about you. You know if you're not okay. You know when you need support.
beautiful. So, Leone, how do we stalk you? Where do we find you?
Oh, you stalk me. My website is harvestinghealth.com.au. Not too hard. Got to keep that. On Instagram, it's harvesting_health_hub. And then on Facebook, it's Harvesting Health, simply Harvesting Health, not the T version, the other version. I'm all over it. I do it like I'm all over my Facebook and social media every day. Yeah, and I'm in LinkedIn under my own name.
Beautiful. So I'll make sure I've popped all those links below so that you can go and stalk Leone and, of course, support when your new space opens up and your big move comes, which is super exciting.
It is
And then, of
exciting.
course, when this book eventually comes out into fruition. But I appreciate you so much for joining me today. I know that I've taken a lot out of it, especially with the expertise. I think you've just given me a good kick up the backside, even if you weren't meaning to do that. So thank you very much. And yeah, thank you for sharing.
But thank you for having me on, because I was like, oh my gosh, who wants to hear what I have to say? But in saying that, we all have a story, and one day it resonates with a couple of people, and that's adequate.
100%. Thank you so much.
Thank you.